On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the Fuji Nevada 1.5. This is a 27.5-inch wheeled entry-level to mid-level mountain bike from Fuji. And we're going to go into some of the features and designs that make this a pretty unique bicycle from Fuji. But of course, before we do that, please consider hitting the subscribe button, as well as make sure you leave your comments down in the comment section below. That way you can share your thoughts with the rest of the community. So taking a look at this Fuji, this is their entry-level aluminum mountain bike. Now this version we're looking at, the 1.5, is slotted towards the top end of these Fuji Nevadas, as well as it's going to run an aluminum frame to make it a pretty decent bike to get started mountain biking. Now, Fuji has been around for a long time, and the Nevada is a staple in the hardtail lineups. And this particular one is pretty unique because it's going to be set up with 100 millimeters of front suspension travel and then a 3x9 Deore drivetrain, or at least a Deore rear derailleur. So we'll start by checking out the frame, and this frame is made out of what they call A2SL custom butted aluminum. It's a lightweight aluminum frame. It's got an 1.125" head tube. It's got underside of the top tube cable routing, so it's nice and clean looking, and it's going to be set up to run that 100 millimeters of travel in the suspension fork. The version we're checking out, the 17-inch frame version, and it makes for a pretty neat setup because you're going to have double water bottle mounts. You're also then going to have rack mounts for the rear. You've got a quick release clamp for the saddle height, and the whole routing and look of the bike is going to be pretty rugged. 9x135 quick release in the rear. It's going to have post mount disc brakes, and of course up front it'll be set up with 9x100 millimeter QR and post mount brakes as well. So now as we pull back from the frame, we can start to look at some of the geometry. The 27.5-inch version is going to come with geometry that's set up as both XC as well as all usage. So checking out the 17-inch medium frame that we have here, it's going to have a head tube angle of 70 degrees, a seat tube angle of 73 degrees, and then it's going to have a pretty short chainstay length of 430 millimeters and an overall wheelbase of 1,081 millimeters. And that's going to make for a reasonably compact geometry that's still stable enough to have fun off-road, but going to be a sprightly bike to be able to get up and enjoy riding. Now to tame the terrain up front, you've got a 100 millimeter suspension fork. So this is 100 millimeters of travel. It's running an SR Suntour XCM fork. That this is a hydraulic lockout fork, so it's got a real damping unit. You're going to be able to adjust from firm to lighter positions. It's going to be 9x135 quick release up front, and it's going to be a nice lightweight package that's still going to have plenty of control for when you're on rough roads, but it's not going to bob around on you while you're trying to, say, get up a hill or that sort of thing. The next piece to the bike is of course going to be the drivetrain, and this is where we're going to see a 3x9 setup. The 3x9 is going to give us a super wide range, and to be able to run that super wide range, we're going to have a Shimano Deore rear derailleur, shifting gears through a Shimano HG 200-9 cassette with an 11 to 34 tooth range, with a KMC Z9 chain to a Shimano Acera crankset. This is a 44, 32, 22 tooth range, and it's got an Altus front derailleur. So that makes for a pretty neat package because it's going to allow a super wide range of gearing. The 3x9 with 27 combinations should make for a pretty apt drivetrain for everything from that commute to those rough roads to even full-on mountain biking. Moving on from the gearing, we'll get to the brakes. So after getting up to speed, you got to slow down, and this bike has the Shimano MT200 hydraulic disc brakes. This is an affordable, very good quality hydraulic disc brake. It's running 180 millimeter rotors up front, as well as 160 millimeter rotors in the rear. Connecting you to the ground comes courtesy some WTB SX19 rims. These are 32-hole rims. They're running a Shimano front and rear hub combination. You've got the TX505 front and rear hubs with stainless steel black spokes, making for a pretty strong wheel setup. And then the tires are going to be WTB's Ranger Comp tires. These are a 27.5 inch by 2.25 inch tire with 27 TPI. They've got pretty tight blocking on the tread pattern through the center and nice side knobs to the tread pattern to give you plenty of control when you're on the looser terrain. That then brings us to the final part of the bike, which is going to be the cockpit. So this is set up with WTB's Volt Sport saddle, and then for a handlebar, you've got the Oval Concepts riser bar. This is an alloy 31.8 handlebar with a 15 millimeter rise, and that's attaching to the steer tube of the fork with an Oval Concepts 313 alloy stem. On the handlebar, you've got Shimano's rapid fire shifters. These shifters have gear indicators and they're operated with thumb and index finger, which makes for a pretty easy to control setup. And then you'll also see the Shimano MT200 disc brake levers, which are hydraulic and easy to actuate. So now that we've taken a look at the features and design of this Fuji Nevada 1.5, let's go ahead and find out what this bike weighs in at. So this medium frame Nevada 1.5 is going to come in and weigh on our scales right at 29.76 pounds. That's a great look at the Fuji Nevada 1.5 with the 27.5 inch wheels. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. How do you think this compares to other bikes that are out there, such as the Marlin and the Rockhopper? What do you think about this bike? As well as, while you're at it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Lets me know you enjoyed the video, and definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That way you can see more videos like this into the future.